while President Trump is considering expanding the alternative investments inside of pension plans like crypto, which kind of scares the crap out of me, honestly. Yeah. However, inside of that too, he is proposing gold and silver, physical. So I think that he's giving something that he knows that's going to be destructive because he is a transformative president, and this transformation must take place because there's no purchasing power left in the currency. On the other hand, I think he's also giving you tools to protect yourself with allowing and encouraging gold and silver in those systems. So that gives me a level of hope because I do think that if we can come together in global community, so we got to do it locally and we got to do it globally, that we can have an impact in the new system because they can't just back a currency with gold. You know, right. Once you do that, it fixes the debt at these unpayable levels. And in order to truly go fully into this new system, you need a clean balance sheet. So you got to get rid of the garbage from the last system before you can really embrace and enter this next system. And that's what people really need to understand. What gold and silver actually do is they hold your purchasing power intact here in this old system that, frankly, for me, and I've been saying this since 2008, no doubt about it, died in 2008. And then into the new system so that you actually have some purchasing power to work with. But quite honestly, there are opportunities between here and there. Oh my God, there are opportunities that will present as these currently severely overvalued assets drop down to undervalued levels. And I want people really to understand that what we're looking at here and what we're actually dealing with here is a simple repetition of history. And so if you can learn to recognize the signs, then you can get into a proper position to take advantage of this burnout of all of this inflation that has been pumped into the system by all of this money printing. And I know everybody smiles when I do that because it's humorous. But what people need to understand is once they create this money, whether they do it in physical form or in digital form, it costs nothing to create that money. Nothing. So that's why that money goes to zero, because it has no value. The governments and central banks create this money. It costs 9.2 or something like that cents to create a $100 bill.
That's crazy.
They get to keep that difference. That's their income, right? And they've been underwater for 4 years. This is the 4th year. Any excess from all that money they create is supposed to go to the Treasury, and they haven't been able to give the Treasury any money going on now for 4 years. So what we have is a zombie government being supported by zombie central banks that are supported by zombie corporations. And now they've got to hyperinflate it away because it's the only way to do this. It is not an easy transition. Everybody needs a foundation of sound money, because it's sound money because it's above central banks and governments. It cannot be inflated away. And the stable coins, what backs the stable coins? The dollar.
How long do you think, if you were to give an estimate, how long will the US dollar last? Like, do you think it'll go another 20 years, 30, 40, maybe?
I think the name can remain, but I think that within the next 2 years, everybody's going to be fully aware of the hyperinflation. Wow. They can keep the name. It doesn't mean anything. We had dollars before we went on the Federal Reserve System. They keep the name the same. We have dollars after Bretton Woods. We have dollars after 1971. We have dollars. It doesn't mean, it's just a name. right? My producer, because they have the cleanest eyes of anybody, right? At that moment in time. And I can never really think about what the viewers, I try, but I've been doing this on some level my entire life. So I don't know what you don't know that you need to know. You know what I mean? But somebody coming in new does. The reason why I bring this up is a couple of weekends ago, I was in Florida and I had a meeting with the Citizens for Sound Money, and we were meeting with Byron. You're going to have to change this. You always need to put his name up. I can never remember his last name, please. I'm working on it. Thank you. Okay. So a couple weekends ago, as part of the Citizens for Sound Money, we went to Florida, who recently legalized gold and silver as legal tender. And we had a meeting with Byron Donalds, who President Trump has endorsed for the next governor. And it was a phenomenal meeting. We didn't have a whole lot of time, but that was the first time that I did it. And then afterwards, I mean, it was a great meeting because we've still got some work, even though they passed it. Missouri was the first state to actually just recently pass that you can settle your tax burden with the state with gold and silver. So I love that. We're making progress. We are making progress.
Wow.
But what was interesting is afterwards, we went out for lunch. Not with Byron, but with the Citizens for Sound Money. And I was talking to Daniel Diaz, who is the lobbyist and the lead for this movement. And I told him just what I just said to you. When somebody comes in new, they have no idea what they're doing. This is the cleanest eyes. So I don't know exactly when yet, but we are going to start an additional broadcast live where he is actually going to teach me how to get involved in local politics rather than just saying it, because he's done that, right? And I'm like, this is still daunting. I still don't know how to do it.
Right.
So I say, use me as a tool. We can all learn together because we have to do this. We have to get sound money back in our system, or we're going to a feudal system, and your children will have no opportunities, none, if they have their way. World Economic Forum, you will own nothing by 2030. I don't think you're going to be happy if everything, including a cup that you want to drink out of, you have to lease.